Hello, my beautiful people. This is Anna Sheriff again. So today I want us to talk on the illegal use of drugs in Sierra Leone, especially amongst our young people. Those who have traveled recently to Sierra Leone have expressed concerns that the rate at which these drugs are being taken by these young people is alarming. And I know a lot of people have shared videos, talked on this, um, but election is coming. We need to now continue to talk on how it's been smuggled into the country, how it's affecting our young generation, how it's going to affect the upcoming 2023 election in Sierra Leone. People act as though drug use is new in Sierra Leone, but it is not. Drug use has been on since the 90s in Sierra Leone, especially those of us who experienced the war. I remember the rebels used gunpowder to eat gunpowder to make themselves high and cause so much atrocities on us, especially when we did not Kisi. Okay, so according to Al Jazeera, it says substance abuse has long been a problem for the impoverished West African country. Throughout the 90s, a civil war gained international notoriety for the role played by drug-fueled teenagers who committed atrocities and launched an anarchy attack on the capital. We were the ones that they launched that anarchy on in Kisi. The effect of marijuana, alcohol, and cocaine contributed to the violence. When the conflict ended in 2002, many combatants returned home addicted to these substances in the 90s. It is not new. So drug use have always been but the rate at which it's going now, I believe, is why people are concerned, especially those of us who saw those videos. You see how the use of Kush especially makes these young people look as if they are zombies, okay?
The council don't pass, so only go for waiting for go far. Now see, push, push.
So what is this Kush exactly? According to Dr. Fu Chang and Amanda Stevens of the Epiphany Wellness, it says, in short, Kush is a specific type of cannabis. It's popular for recreational users because it's sometimes thought to be stronger than other strains of cannabis. Some people may also like the feeling of Kush better than other kinds of cannabis and may also think it's easier to smoke. Kush strains of cannabis are descendants from plants from the Kush region, which is on the Afghanistan and Pakistan border. However, some people use Kush as a shorthand for all cannabis, especially cannabis buds. People may be more likely to call cannabis Kush if the buds from the plant have bright colors like purple or orange. Those bright colors may signify that the cannabis is stronger than usual, which is part of what earns the Kush nickname. Because not everyone knows what Kush is, it's also used as slang and a way to disguise cannabis use when users are in mixed companies. That said, Kush is becoming a more well-known name for cannabis, so using the term as slang meant to disguise isn't as common anymore. Remember that when you hear someone talking about Kush, they are talking about either cannabis product, especially smoked cannabis, or a specific type of cannabis. Also, according to Faya Mosire, Kush is one of the popular substances drugs that have recently arrived in Sierra Leone. These drugs certainly came to the spotlight sometimes around 2020 and 2021. Other sources says that the drug arrived much earlier but was not in widespread circulation. Also, according to BBC Africa, Kush, a cheap new illegal drug, is ravaging communities in Sierra Leone. The BBC has had reports of young people killing themselves or harming themselves and others. Medical staff in the capital Freetown says that 90% of the male admissions to the central psychiatric ward are due to Kush use. Police are battling to win the war against the drug. With Kush use spreading rapidly, with ever younger users being exposed to it, Africa Eye reporter Tyson's Conte investigated the drug and asked whether Sierra Leone can stop the march of this dangerously addictive drug. Can we? The youth who has a powerful voice to stand up and go to the polls and speak, elect the right people, are the ones who are becoming zombies using this drug and giving excuses of unemployment. Okay, so let us take a look on a short clip from Tyson's Conte when he did his report and investigation on this drug use in Sierra Leone.
Kush. Draw one. Outside you go the ASOL you be wing. A new illegal drug high taking my country's youth to a dark place. Everyone sleeping here is on Kush. Everyone. Young generation.
Don't get a knife. I know the bad word.
But there are so many laws. Young people driven mad. Young people killing themselves. Young people harming themselves and others.
I smoke and 8 people only, they be left me as a close mother.
Our psychiatric wards are filling up with Kush casualties and police are battling to win the war against this drug. So let us know that all Kush.
So this month we are going to say no to it. Huh? We don't want it in this school. We don't want it around us.
But with Kush spreading like wildfire, with ever younger users being exposed to it, how can my country win the war against this drug?
You see, girl? Never cut his throat.
My name is Tyson Conte. I'm a filmmaker from Sierra Leone.
Please. Log out in hospital quick. Log out now, yeah?
Something bad is happening in my country.
Yeah?
Recently, I've noticed on social media a lot of very, very young people dying untimely deaths, running mad, harming themselves. That is watching this graphic.
It is hard to watch these videos and not feel empathy towards this youth, towards our younger generations who are supposed to be carrying on the mantle of leadership, who are supposed to be the next generation to continue to rule these countries and make laws and all that. It is hard to see that these young people are wasting away, becoming zombies, you know, and not feel empathy or sympathy towards them. It is hard to watch these videos. So how are these drugs being smuggled into our countries? How and why are the government allowing such smugglers to even exist or come through us? Okay, according to Al Jazeera again, it says in recent years, harder drugs, cocaine, and to a lesser extent heroin, have become increasingly available, authorities and health practitioners says. They blame West Africa's growing role as a transit route for the global narcotic trades. They blame West Africa. Some countries in West Africa agreed to use their country as a route to export or transport or smuggle these drugs into every part of the world. And Sierra Leone is one of them. It's good to learn about things because I had no idea. Now we are learning that these are the reasons why these drugs are becoming rampant in most West African countries. Okay, and we all know drug use has always been there, but it is now escalating. The rate at which young people are using it is alarming. All right. So let's talk about how the government or government officials are trying to work and curb this illegal drug use and try to get these smugglers out of our country or off of the street, and how are they trying to get our younger generations to clean themselves up. Sierra Leone only passed its National Drug Control Act in 2008 following the apprehension of the cocaine plane and in order to try those arrested in connection to it retroactively. Like the Ghanaian law, the Sierra Leone National Drug Control Act 2008 takes a punitive approach to both drug use and drug trafficking. It prescribes life imprisonment for anyone convicted of producing or cultivating drugs, including cannabis, as well as selling or attempting to transship them. But how are you going to jail somebody because they transship these drugs when you have allowed your country to be a transit route to smuggle these drugs into different countries? I might be wrong here, but how would you jail somebody when you allow them to first of all bring it into our country and use the country as a transit route to different part of the world? Okay, and we're going to punish the ones that are using it when the government itself is the one who allow your country, and Sierra Leone is one of them, to become a transit route. Okay, this means that a peasant farmer cultivating an acre of marijuana or even a smaller plot who is arrested in the occasional police raids may be jailed for life. This has economic livelihood as well as security and human rights implications. The law states that a drug user is liable on conviction to a fine not less than 30 million leones or to a term of imprisonment not less than 10 years. It adds that the court may, in addition to the penalty prescribed for that offense, make an order requiring the offender to undergo measures such as treatment, education, aftercare, rehabilitation, or social integration. Now, I'm happy to hear that.
Executive Director of the Institute for Drug Control and Human Security, A. Nabiu Mokoa, said, government must embark on drug treatment and rehabilitation of drug users rather than imprisonment.
Imprisonment has not worked so far, but treatment and rehabilitation works more than the imprisonment. So we are now advocating on the government to reform our laws in order to embark on treatment and rehabilitation, because drug itself, it's an addiction. Imprisonment cannot stop addiction. It's only when you treat and rehabilitate they get results.
It is believed that the abuse of drugs has a high risk of blowing out of proportion if not appropriately addressed. Salifu Cherna Kamara, AYV News, Freetown.
Let us talk on how the use of drugs, okay, is going to affect these upcoming elections. All right, because we know we have dangerous minds who are out there who might use these younger people who are on drugs to cause violence in that country. we have dangerous people out there who will, I'm not saying they'll give you Kush, because honestly, Kush makes you look like a zombie. So, but they have cocaine and other drugs that they can give these kids to cause violence during these elections, okay? So we need to talk to you guys that when this election is coming, stay off drugs, clean yourself up, and go vote. If you are so desperate for this change, the best thing one can do is to get off drugs, clean yourself up during election, and go vote for change. Okay? So according to Association for Catholic Information Africa, this report is by Agnes Annie. It was written in Freetown, January 19, 2023. It says the use of a cheap and dangerous drug known as Kush has become widespread among the youth in Sierra Leone, a situation that a Catholic priest in the West African country finds alarming. According to Father Peter Conte, the executive director for Caritas Freetown, the use of Kush and other illicit drugs among the young people in Sierra Leone exposes the country, which is preparing for the general election on June 24th, 2023, to possible violence. We are with the big one. You know, when violence erupts in any country, we get to understand, say, not to one political party this suffer. Each and every Sierra Leonean will face the consequences. Who experienced the war, we do not want another war in that country. So please, we are asking you guys, each Sierra Leoneans, then, opposition party, current party, stop giving these young people drugs. Let me give young people some advice. So my advice here today is, let us stop the blame game. The personal choices that we make to do things, we need to accept our own fault. Take accountability for things that you do, for things that you say. Stop blaming other people for your own mistakes. Stop blaming Papa government for our personal choices. Taking cocaine, marijuana, Kush, and tramadol will not solve your problem. It is not going to allow the government to come in. First of all, let's talk this in Creole. Una they think say, well, una they take them drugs there. Now ain't go make the government turn to una. I'm of this firm belief that when government come to power, it's for themselves and the people around them and their children. Una they take drugs because una say unemployment so high. Nothing no dey for do. After the war, una all cancel on Freetown. Go back to the provinces. You know, now because we know they teach history and teach about we ancestors, then Usa will come on. I make beaucoup people then sit down Freetown, they don't even know Usa them people then come on. If na Makeni, you come on, go back na Makeni and try for do farm. If na Bo, you come on, put Loko, Cambia, Kono district. Any way you come on, Joma Jago. If na there, you come on, go back and lay farm. And again, una will go lay them farm there. Una say again, Papa government not give una truck for cancel una product. When are we going to stop this Papa government blame? The only time we need government now, we want use government lands for do businesses. Now we want passport. Now we want something related to government. But if you say the government they can't put you in a street because you don't go on cocaine, this is what they want. As a young generation, for lot una take the leadership role in that country. You know, una can say not compare America to Sierra Leone. But the reason why some of this part of the world then great is because then they do volunteerism, they do internship. And I know internship for Get and Salon is not easy. Why? Because they go rather get to their own people them or their own picking them. Some of them government officials, they are them people they do overseas. Then they give them scholarship for Kalan book. Whilst una they go and take drugs, thinking that will make the government turn attention to una. They will not. If you were born as Salon, you are rightfully there to stand elections. Start from your local government. Change not happen by the one that one don't go put there. Change not get for happen by taking drugs. Because these drugs makes you people look like zombies, act like zombies, make you murderers. And they make una they kill people them. Una they rape woman the one una supposed to protect in the society. Run for local office. And by doing so, if you not somebody where they aspire for change, not by taking drugs, one they say city council no they clean. Una clean una neighborhood. Gather the young people, gather the old people, say una law can clean with neighborhood because I are with it. And when election time come, that's number one thing you can do. You go stand na your district. If na locals you come up, na that eastern area, go stand there. I love locals because na they are men. I don't grow up, okay? Stand for those local government. Trust me, if it not happen the first time, it will happen the second time. If it not happen the second time, it will happen the third time. Never give up. You know, I just don't understand. So this generation will be an entitled generation. We say they want everything for be handed down to them. Growing up, those who are 40 and above go tell una say one party system in Sierra Leone. We to line for buy one corporate. We not sit down and wait for government for come. That day they will not be the rest supply day. You they go na line, you go tin up the line. All the money you don't wait 4 o'clock for go put. Sometimes they put stone, they put rubber, they put bucket for let you position then at the line. If you miss that position then, when they come for do the supply, you know they get rest. We snap la line for toothpaste. We not consider we self as entitled. Say government for can't take and give we. But this we young generation now, they want everything for be handed to them. Automatic. You know, everything for them be prepared. Yeah, even the job, they want the government come on, government officials, they come on at the office can give them the job. Then they not also then they buy them they on tramadol. Una they allow them government officials there for send them picking them overseas and can land book and then they go back and replace them, parent them in the bad behavioral way of managing our economy, managing the country, managing our resources. Because politics is learned. And they learn from them people who don't sit on it. So if you want this change, my advice to you today is get off the use of drugs. Stop taking drugs. Clean yourself up. Do something in your community. Be that change maker now that your community did. Clean your environment. If they say dirty then not wait for city council for can clean them. Una go say they pay tax. But how many times when I don't pay tax? How many times when they cry government no they come? How many times when I don't blame government not care? And this is not just this government, the previous government and government in between. We young time with snap line for buy one corporate. Una get locked up now they gonna store the rest readily available for long buy, but still they complain that prices are high. The economy is tough right now. Make do what you have. The use of drugs is not a solution.